What's up, guys? My name's Anthony. Welcome to the channel. And Bitcoin hit a new all-time high of $33,100 today. I'm sure you saw it if you've been watching the charts. We're going to talk about what that means. We're going to put it into perspective as far as the cycle goes and where we are 7 months past the most recent Bitcoin happening, which took place on May 11th. So we'll look into this article, we'll discuss some macro reasons why Bitcoin will continue to thrive for the entire year, or at least the majority of it. Then we're gonna take a look at what Bitcoin price looked like during the second halving. Back in 2016, we're gonna compare that data to what it's been doing this year, see if we can't make some sense of it. I'll help you understand why I don't think it's time to sell yet and why I think there's a lot of gas left in the tank during this run. Then we're actually going to take a look at Tesla and compare Bitcoin in 2021 to Tesla 2020. I'm going to explain to you why I believe this will be potentially a very valid comparison when all is said and done. And if for some reason it's your first time stopping by and you haven't joined our community yet, I'm going to ask you to take a second out and subscribe to the channel if you are someone who is serious about incorporating cryptocurrency investing into your overall wealth building strategy. So let's talk a little bit about this article which just came out today. So Bitcoin blows past 33K for the first time, hours after blowing through $30,000. Now, this morning I wake up, I look at my phone, and I see that Bitcoin has broken $30,000. So I get into my group chat, text a couple of my buddies. I tell them Bitcoin's at 30K. Hours later, they text me back 31, 32, 33, and we're going back and forth all day. And that's how quickly this happened. It's pretty phenomenal, the run that Bitcoin is at. We're now over 50% above our previous all-time high of just around $20,000. And right here, Bitcoin makes Tesla look like it's standing still, tweeted Jim Bianco, well-known macro strategist, shortly after the cryptocurrency broke $30,000. And Tesla is one of the most volatile stocks. It is known to move 2% or more in any given day. And obviously, Bitcoin has been moving 10. It moved as much as 13%. At the moment, over the last 24 hours, it's up 11%. So it's moving fast, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Tesla, which of course was one of the best performing stocks, over a 730% return this year if you were in Tesla. But let's talk a little bit about what is driving Bitcoin and why I don't see any signs of slowing for the Bitcoin price. And excuse me, I shouldn't say that I don't see signs of slowing, because I do believe we could see a slight correction or some consolidation, but it doesn't appear to me that Bitcoin is going to fall right back down to 20 or 10K anytime soon. In fact, I think we're going to go higher in the coming months. So Bitcoin price is being driven by institutional money, and there is not enough supply. So remember, 21 million Bitcoin overall, the whole world, and now not just individual retail investors as they're called, but now institutions are fighting over it. Laurent Kiss, managing director at 21 Shares, told CoinDesk, "The number of family offices asking to invest in our ETP is just staggering. I've never seen this before. In 2017, it was just retail knocking at the door. Now it's only institutional." When you talk about the difference between retail investors and institutional, think about yourself. Think about how much money you have, maybe your net worth, how much you have in your savings accounts, your retirement accounts. Think about your net worth for a second. And then think about the company that you work for. And then you tell me, do you have more money? Of course, the answer is no. Do you have more money than the company you work for, or do they have more money? And of course, they have way more money. So in 2017, when people were FOMOing in, when individuals were FOMOing in, maybe they were spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, maybe $10,000 on crypto. Now institutions are coming in, but they're not coming in with $1,000. They're coming in with $100,000, $1 million, etc. Right? So this is the type of money that, if you've been in crypto a long time, people have been talking about potentially coming in. You know, people have been talking about institutional investors really since like 2018, which is when I first got involved in this thing. But now we're starting to see it. And the final grab has started. By this time next year, accumulating 1,000 Bitcoin will be nearly impossible for most people. This is Jihan Chu, CEO at Hong Kong-based trading firm Kanita Capital, right? This is him just talking about that, but it doesn't even matter who said it. It matters that it makes a whole lot of sense, and it's becoming harder and harder to get your hands on a lot of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now at almost 71% dominance, which is just staggering. So of the cryptocurrency asset class, of all the cryptocurrencies out there right now, which is thousands of them, right? And CoinGecko has over 6,000. Bitcoin itself makes up 71% of the entire market capitalization, which, by the way, is up 9% today and at $851 billion. Give this video a like if you've been investing in Bitcoin since it was worth $2 billion or $3 billion or lower. Congratulations to you if you are in that category. But I want to point out that the dominance is rising, not falling. Right? I made a video, I'll link to it up top here, talking about alt season and why I do not believe we are there yet. I do think it will take time. I think it'll take 6 to 12 months before we really start to see an alt season. And so here's what I really wanted to analyze, and I had this kind of vision to make this video. I wanted to help people understand where we are in the cycle, right? We've talked about this in my previous videos. Bitcoin moves in 4-year cycles, and generally the most movement happens roughly a year and a half after a halving. So let's talk about the second halving, which was in 2016, right? 4-year cycle, so 4 years ago, 5 if you want to get technical, right? The last halving was on January 9th, 2016. At the time of that, the low of the day was $610. Now, roughly 6 months later, in January of 2017, the price had risen to $1,175, so a 91% price increase. Pretty incredible. Now, in 2020, I want to go over the same stats. So at the time of the third halving, which was May 11th, we were at roughly $8,500 for Bitcoin. Fast forward to January 1st, or beginning of January, right? We're at roughly 29,000. Must have been talking about January 1st when I made this, right? And take a look at this increase. So it was 91% before. This is a 240% increase in just 7 months, which has a lot of people wondering, is this the top for Bitcoin? Should I sell now and lock in some profits? And my short answer to you is, if you'd like to lock in some profits, go for it. But I'm never giving true financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, right? But am I selling mine? I'll put it to you this way. Am I selling the lion's share of mine? Absolutely not. Not even considering it. Now, you could say to me, Anthony, the price is up so high right now. It's way higher than it's ever been. And what I'm going to say to you is, take a look at how much room this price grew in 2017. Look at that. Just eclipsing all of these games, went all the way up to almost $20,000 in 2017, which was a year and a half after the halving. Right? So that's just insane. If you want me to put a percentage on it, or just for curiosity, I will. That is a 1,500% gain, 1,570% gain from where we were in January of 2017. Insane profits, potentially for another entire year, if history repeats itself. But this is the thing, guys. History has never failed us. So here I am telling you, and by the way, I've been saying this for years. I've been saying, here's this thing, this halving. It has never failed. It's made more millionaires than we thought possible 2 times in the past. Do you think it might be a good idea to put your money in? I say this to people. People think it sounds crazy because it's new and they don't understand it, or for whatever it is. And those of you guys watching this video, maybe you were those guys out of your friends who were like the crazy person investing in Bitcoin, but now they're going to start talking to you about it and realizing that you potentially saw something. You saw something before the rest of the world did, and that's how people become very wealthy. You have to have an idea, you have to have a conviction and stick to it, and it's crazy that this is starting to come to pass here a little bit with Bitcoin, but I do believe that we have a lot further to go. Do I think we have another 10x from here? No, I don't think we're going to be at $300,000 in 12 months, but I do think it's possible for us to hit $100,000 this cycle. Or certainly at least $50,000 if I'm going to be kind of conservative with my call here, if I'm going to make my forecast as I talked about in my thumbnail and title of this video. The other thing that I really wanted to do in this video was talk to you about a mindset shift. Now, this is specifically for people who have been in crypto for a number of years like I have. Now, I go back to that conversation I had with my friends when we were texting. There's my kid, right? We were talking about how quick Bitcoin was moving, and we were texting each other, every time there was a new all-time high. Because, I started thinking to myself, why do we do that? And I think the reason is because it took so long for Bitcoin to break that elusive $20,000 mark. And now every day it's a new all-time high. So, I was flirting with the idea of calling this video the new Bitcoin normal or something, some play on COVID-19 pandemic. But, I wanted to compare Bitcoin's 2021 to what Tesla just did in 2020. And of course, there's no guarantees that it'll do that. But one thing that I want to put on your radar is that Tesla was making new all-time highs. These are monthly candles almost every month. So one thing that you can prepare yourself for, and again, this isn't guaranteed, but one thing that might happen is that Bitcoin might put in a new all-time high almost every month or every other month as we progress throughout this year, if it continues to do what it has in the past, in terms of the 4-year cycle. Because history tells us we still have 6, at least, maybe 12 months of upwards movement before we hit some sort of a peak. And that doesn't take into effect some of those macro factors we talked about earlier, or the fact that the Fed in the U.S. is printing up a ton of money, these stimulus packages. It's going to lead to inflation, guys. It's going to lead to inflation. And it's not just U.S., it's global. Bitcoin, I was reading up a little bit before, Bitcoin at the moment is now the 17th largest currency in the world. If you're new to cryptocurrency, understand that. Also, Bitcoin's market capitalization just surpassed that of Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company, if you don't know. Right, so Bitcoin is just getting bigger. It's just getting started, and I think we have an incredible year ahead of us. Smash the likes if you're finding value in what I'm saying right now. Never invest more than you can afford to lose in cryptocurrency, and enjoy the ride. Later.